Hey there, and welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're going on a serious sensory journey. We're on a mission to break down 6 absolutely legendary Indian street-side snacks that really define the soul of Indian flavors. And honestly, the best part? We're going to deconstruct these street-side legends so you can understand exactly how they're crafted and, more importantly, how you can make them right in your own kitchen. Okay, let's dive right into this. If you are craving the ultimate taste of India, you really have to understand the magic of going from a tangy crunch straight to buttery goodness. You know, when we talk about Indian street food, we aren't just talking about grabbing a quick, boring bite. No way. We're talking about a full-blown culinary experience. These are dishes born in incredibly bustling street markets, balancing wild textures and intense flavor profiles. Think sweet, tangy, spicy, and savory, all hitting your palate at the exact same time. It's like a flavor fireworks show. So today, we're focusing on exactly 6 iconic foods. Just 6. But here's the thing. These 6 items literally fuel millions of busy commuters every single day across India. They are the absolute, undisputed ultimate taste of the streets, offering a complete masterclass in flavor building. Here's our menu for today. First up, the bite-size explosions. Next, we'll hit the crispy fried classics. Third, Mumbai's buttery comforts. And finally, we'll wrap it all up with the ultimate tasting guide. All right, let's jump straight into Section 1, the bite-sized explosions. These are your light, tangy, and crunchy snacks. So the foundation of our very first snack, Bhel Puri, relies heavily on one specific thing, puffed rice. It's supported by diced boiled potato, chopped onion, and finely chopped tomato. Now, the puffed rice is absolutely vital here because it creates this incredibly light, airy, and crunchy foundation. It basically acts as a blank canvas for the intense chutneys we're going to add next. It's exactly what makes Bhel Puri a truly light, tangy, and crunchy explosion that just cuts right through the intense heat of a bustling Indian summer afternoon.
Now, the craftsmanship here is all about what I like to call gentle speed. In a large bowl, you combine that puffed rice, the potatoes, onions, and tomatoes, and you mix them gently with a sweet tamarind chutney and a spicy mint chutney. Then you finish it off with fresh coriander and plenty of thin sev, which are these incredibly crunchy little chickpea noodles. But listen, here's the golden rule. You have to serve and eat this immediately. The wet chutneys will rapidly soak right into that puffed rice. So if you wait even a few minutes, you lose that signature explosion of crunch. You've got to eat it right then and there.
Moving right along to the legendary Pani Puri. Here, we find a massive amount of fresh, vibrant flavor packed into a tiny, fragile sphere. You've got the crispy puri acting as the shell. Then, for the hearty filling, we have mashed boiled potatoes and boiled chickpeas. But honestly, the real magic is in the aromatics. We're talking a massive amount of fresh mint leaves, fresh coriander, green chilies, chopped masala, and just a pinch of black salt. This specific combination is exactly what creates the ultimate burst of flavors.
The assembly of Pani Puri is literally an art form. You'll see street vendors perform this at absolute lightning speed. You blend those fresh herbs, chilies, water, and spices to create the chilled, spicy pani, which just means water. Then you delicately crack a little hole in the top of the crispy puri shell, stuff it with that earthy potato and chickpea mix, and finally, flood it with that chilled, spiced water. Okay, so the absolutely crucial point here for first-timers is you have to eat it in one bite. No nibbling. The entire structure is super fragile once the water goes in. You just pop the whole thing into your mouth, and the crispy shell shatters, releasing this amazing flood of chilled, spicy, tangy water mixed with a soft potato. It is totally unforgettable.
Let's move on to Section 2, the crispy fried classics. We're shifting from fresh and tangy to hot, hearty, and deeply comforting. The fundamental building block of the samosa, which is basically the undisputed king of Indian snacks, starts with maida. It's an all-purpose flour, but here is the secret. You don't just mix it with water. You have to knead it with oil to create a very, very stiff dough. That stiffness, combined with the fat content from the oil, is the absolute secret to creating a pastry shell that doesn't just get cooked, but gets perfectly, structurally crunchy when it's fried. Inside that unbelievably crunchy shell goes a filling of boiled, cubed potatoes and green peas, sautéed with cumin seeds, green chilies, and garam masala. Then comes the real craftsmanship. I mean, vendors have been known to fold hundreds of these an hour.
They shape that stiff maida dough into a perfect little cone, fill it with the spiced potato mix, carefully seal the edges, and drop it straight into hot vegetable oil. It deep fries until it transforms into a perfectly golden and crunchy triangle. It's honestly an absolute masterpiece of textural engineering.
Our next fried classic is aloo tikki chaat, and let me tell you, it is a total masterclass in texture contrast. You start with boiled, mashed potatoes mixed with cornstarch. That cornstarch is the secret weapon here. When you pan-fry these patties, they become incredibly crisp on the outside while staying super soft on the inside. But then you take those hot, crispy pan-fried patties and top them with a cold symphony of fresh yogurt, sweet tamarind chutney, and spicy mint chutney. The hot crunch fighting against the cold, soft, wet toppings, all finished with crunchy sev and a sprinkle of chaat masala, is exactly what makes this chaat so mesmerizing. On to Section 3, Mumbai's buttery comforts. Prepare yourself for some seriously rich and buttery flavors. First up in this section is Mumbai Pav Bhaji. We are dealing with a really hearty vegetable base here: boiled potatoes, green peas, and cauliflower, matched with chopped tomatoes and onion. It's seasoned with a very specific Pav Bhaji masala, but the crucial ingredient, a literal mountain of salted butter. I'm not kidding. It is the one crucial ingredient that takes this humble vegetable mash and totally elevates it into a rich, decadent comfort food. The cooking process here is just beautiful to watch. Vendors mash all these veggies together on massive flat griddles called tavas, completely surrounded by bustling city commuters. They saute the onions, tomatoes, and masala in plenty of butter, combine it all with a splash of water, and let it simmer until it reduces into a thick, spicy, buttery mash, the bhaji. But you don't eat it alone. You serve it hot with pavs, which are soft buns that are, yep, you guessed it, toasted in even more butter. You just rip a piece of the buttery bread and use it to scoop up that thick, spicy mash. So good. And this perfectly builds into our next Mumbai legend, the vada pav. People often call this the legendary Indian burger, but what makes it truly special isn't just the filling, it's the condiments. It is totally defined by a fierce flavor clash. You have a fiery, pungent dry garlic chutney going head-to-head with a fresh, vibrant, wet green chutney. This is the ultimate on-the-go fuel for busy Mumbaickars. To assemble this legendary burger, you start by tempering mashed potatoes with mustard seeds and spices, and rolling them into balls. You dip those spiced potato balls into a batter made of besan, which is gram flour, and deep fry them until they're golden. Then comes the real magic. You take a soft pav bun, spread both that dry garlic chutney and the wet green chutney inside, place the hot, crispy besan battered wada right in the center, and you just press it down. The soft bread squishes, the chutneys mix together, and the crispy exterior of the wada firmly holds its ground. It's quite literally street food perfection.
And finally, Section 4, the ultimate tasting guide. Let's pull everything we've learned into one cohesive overview.
Connecting the dots here, you might actually notice a pattern. The humble, everyday boiled potato is the absolute versatile backbone for almost all of these incredibly diverse snacks. In Pani Puri, it's mashed for a hearty bite against the spiced water. In vada pav, which amazingly sees over 2 million consumed daily in Mumbai alone, it's spiced, battered in besan, and fried to pair with garlic chutney. In aloo tikki, it's crisped up with cornstarch to hold its own against wet yogurt. And in bhel puri, it provides a nice weight against the airy puffed rice and thin sev. It's just amazing how one totally simple ingredient is transformed through totally different cooking methods and signature finishes.
So we've walked through the tangy, the crunchy, the spicy, and the intensely buttery. We've seen how simple, everyday ingredients like puffed rice, maida flour, and potatoes are transformed into absolute culinary magic right there on the streets of India. Now the only question left for you is this: which one is your absolute favorite? Which of these street-side legends are you going to try and conquer in your own kitchen first? Thank you so much for joining me on this delicious explainer. Get out there, start cooking, and experience the ultimate taste of India for yourself.